Hello, students. Now we will continue with the next session or next part where we are going to see what is report writing or what is research report writing. So, what are the contents for this? We will first see the definition of research report. Then we will see how many types of reports are there. Then components of research report, what must be there in a research report. Then common sections of a research report. Then APA style essentials. Then citing and referencing resources, footnotes, and suggestions for the good report writing. So, what is the definition of research report? So, it is simply a paper or report that systematically written up on the findings of the study. So, whatever you did the research on that, you have to write your research work, your findings in a very systematic way, which always includes the methodology, then discussion, result, conclusion, etc. So, this all you have to arrange in a very specific way, in a particular style. What should be after which, that is completely decided in a scientific writing, and you have to write it accordingly. So, when you are writing it in that particular way, it is called as a research report. The research report writer should always remember that try to express, not to impress. So you are not going to write articulate things in this particular research report, because research report is you cannot exaggerate anything or you cannot write extra here, because you have done research, you have tried to find out something, and the fact you are going to tell to the world, right? Everyone is going to read it. So it should be get expressed in a scientific way and not in a ornamental way. So there is no need to write or use English or whatever language in which you are doing research uh, to impress the audience. That is not the purpose, right? So always this research is, if you see it more elaborately or in a very precise manner, if you want to define a research, a report is systematic write-up on the findings of the research study, which must include abstract, which must have executive summary or a summary. It must have introduction. Many a times introduction is also called as background. This introduction always include the literature review background, then justification, objectives, etc. Means this in introduction you have to give all this justification and objective in a very short way. Then most important, methodology or material and methods which you have used, then which may also include the statistical design. If you're going to use, then you need to add it there. Then what results after performing the experiment, what results you got, and according to your results you have to write the discussion on your results. How you will write discussion on your result? You are going to compare your results with the others, and with comparison you are going to give the your statement. You're going to produce the statements, you're going to write the statements that my result is in this way, the other's result is in this way, and at the end you're going to conclude everything. And you can give recommendation, or many a time it is called as a future plan. And then you have to cite the references in a very specific way. So when you are writing whatever you did, your work in this particular way, it is called as research report. Now, what are the different types of research reports? The general research type reports are informational. So definitely the name itself indicate that it is the report which gives lot of information, or it instruct the present information. So where the reader will see whatever information is always available in the events or activities or conditions in which the research has been done, and no analysis of the situation, no conclusion, no recommendations you need to write in that informal report. So only you are going to describe the events, activities, or conditions. In analytical research, it should be written to solve some problem. So most of us, when we are doing a research work, it is always analytical type, because we state some problem and we are trying to find out some solution for it. So that is comes under analytical research. Of course, information is there. You will do the research, you will get the results, and that information you need to analyze here, right? And conclusions you have to draw as per the recommendations which are made. In the sense, whatever you do the experiment, what results are there, on basis of that you are going to draw the conclusions and you are going to give the recommendations. Then persuasive research is mainly, it's like a proposals. When you want a grant, at that time you need to write a proposal in a very particular format. So that kind of report is generally called as persuasive report. Now here the mostly these reports are actually the extension of analytical report, and main focus here is on sell an idea. Means how nice my idea is. It should be I have to write it in such a way that it should impact on your mind that my idea is the best. So sell an idea or a service, that my service is the best, or the product, whatever product I have prepared after doing lot of research, how it is best. So it is always the, whenever you want a grant, you need to write it in such a way that whatever research you have done, whatever product after your research you are going to get, or what type of service you are going to give, or what idea you have is how supreme, how nice, that you have to write in such a way that it should have some impact. So those type of researchers are called, or the reports are called as persuasive reports. Now these are the three main types of reports, but there are many more reports which we will see in short. That is incident report, where in this particular report you have to describe that how close you are to completing something you have planned. So you have did some research plan or whatever research work or some work you have planned, and in this incident report you are going to tell that how much work you have completed till now, and it is just at the end. Then accident report. This report generally describes how many goods or services were sold. So it's just a lekha jokha, that how much goods or whatever whatever goods I have, or whatever services I'm giving, how much they are good or how much they are sell, and the reason for any differences from the plan. So I have planned that this much particular my good has to get sold, but actually this much got sold, and now why the difference is there? I have planned something else, and whatever in reality I'm getting some another result. So that report you have to do, that is called as accident report. Now the sales report. This report is mostly happen in place and how close your organization is to finishing the construction. So in a sense that it is generally written for the organization, and it is just going to tell that exactly what is happened in that place, or to some particular location, and it how your organization is now close to finishing whatever work is given for that particular location. Then the progress report, this is actually the academic report. So many times when you are doing PhD, after every 6 months you need to submit progress report to the university or to the research center. So this progress report is the academic report on how and why something has changed over the time. Means you're doing some experiment and what type of result you are getting, and how you are progressing in your research. So that type of research is called as progress report. Then feasibility study report. It is again a report which describes something that has happened. It is going to tell that some situation or some event which has already happened. So that type of report is called as feasibility report or uh, study report. So next is recommendation report. So this type of report is a report on how practical a proposal is. So you want to do some research, but before that you have to uh, write a report that this experiments or this type of work I'm going to do, and in that you need to mention that how practically this proposal uh, will be, or the proposal is written well. You have to write it in that fashion, and you have to give the recommendation that yes, this particular proposal has written in this particular format, nicely written, and I recommend this particular proposal. So that kind of recommendation is given in this particular report is called as recommendation report. So next is site report, a report on what your organization should do. So site report is to do work for the organization. That if the organization will do these things, it will going to get improved in that particular area, or overall there will be improvisation in the organization. Then periodic operating reports. This is to monitor and control the production, sales, shipping, services. So after each period, so after 1 month, or after every 24 hours, or after every a week, you need to write that uh, how much production is done till now in that particular company, how much sale has done, how much shipping material or whatever service you are giving, how much that service is used or services given in that particular time period. So it is called as periodic operating report. The next is situational report, where some one-time event or some trips or some organization of the conference or seminars has been done, workshop has been done, and then you have to describe that how the whole the whole event, the trip or conference or seminar or workshop has conducted. So that is what is called as situational report. The next is investigative or informal report, where the report you have to write the report. First, you have to examine the problem, then supply the facts that what you have observed, and you have to little analyze it and write all the information, whatever you feel about that particular problem after the examination. That is called as investigative or informational report. Then the compliance report. This is generally, suppose a government agencies or laws they have visited, they have told you to do something, and after that you have completed those things, and then you are giving the compliance report that as per the instructions given by government agencies, laws, we have completed, fulfilled all these conditions, and this is the report for that particular conditions which we have fulfilled, which were suggested by the government agencies or law. That is called as compliance report. Then justification or recommendation. To make recommendations to the management and to become a tool to solve some problem and make decisions, you need to write a report in a particular format so that the management will actually recommend whatever work you want to do, or you have to give the justification about your project work in such a way that the management will understand it, and accordingly it will give the decision. So what type of decision or recommendation or justification you give, and what type of recommendations you give, that if we do this kind of thing then it will be best for our institution, that is written in a certain format, that type of report is called a justification or recommendation report. Then yardstick, it is to establish the criteria and evaluate alternatives by measuring against the yardstick criteria. So here you are going to establish some criteria and evaluate alternative measurings. So if this will be done, it's fine. If this is not done, then what alternative I can do? So for a particular problem, suppose an institution is facing some problem. So in that, I can give the situation that this criteria we can establish to overcome up with this problem, or we can do this alternative procedure or method because of which we can avoid this particular problem. Then the next is research studies, to study problems specifically by analyzing problem. So here you know, you have defined the problem, right? You know now what is research. You also know how to design the problem for research. So once you decided the problem, after that you will do the experiment, then you will analyze your research results, and then you will draw the conclusion. So that when you are studying a particular problem in this way, it is called as research studies. Then what are the components of the research reports? So overall, you can say that research report is systematic investigation into a study of a natural phenomena or material or sources or existing conditions of the society in order to identify the facts or to get additional information and drive new conclusions. It is also the production process which needs a number of inputs to produce new knowledge and applications of new and existing knowledge to generate technology that ultimately may generate economic prosperity of a nation. So main motto of this research report is may give the application of even it can help to generate the economic prosperity. Now, what are the component of the research report? So always whenever a scientific research article is there, it provides actually a particular method to scientists to communicate with the other scientists. So through this research report, one scientist can very easily communicate with the other scientists, because this scientific design or scientific paper writing, report writing is exactly same for all over the world. So it will be easy for one scientist to communicate with the another one. So always a standard format is used. So whenever a type of article you are going to write, a type of report you are going to write, thesis must be in a particular order, research paper must be in a particular order, book chapter must be in a particular order. So it's defined. When you are writing a review, it should be a normal review. It should be in a different order. A critical review, it should be right in a different way. So it is actually the orderly presentation or arrangement done by the researcher, so that, and it should be in a logical manner done by the researchers, so that the other researchers can understand it well. So this doesn't necessarily reflect the order in which you did or thought about the work. You may did while doing the experiment, you may did some experiments before, some afterwards. You're not going to write it in that way. You're going to write it in such a way that it will form a story, right? So after one another, you're going to fit your experiments in that way, and then it should give a good story. So once you read any research article or any research report, it will tell you or get you could read it as a story. Then the which are the how you have to arrange actually the components of the research report. So first is the beginning material, which is generally the title page or abstract in which you have to introduce the keywords, then table of the content, list of the figures and tables, acknowledgements. So these are the beginning material which generally whenever you need to submit a research paper or a book chapter to any organization, that is any journal or any book publishing company, and then these are the first pages which you have to write. Then you have to write, if you are writing a thesis, then you have to write a chapter number, that like chapter number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Always the chapter number 1 will be the introduction, where you have to give the statement of the problem. Then you have to write hypothesis. Here you have to write objectives. You have to give importance of your research work there, and what is scope of your work. All this will be get covered into the introduction. We will see each and every point in detail. Then in chapter 2, it's a background and literature review. So in chapter 2, generally you're going to write what background. So you have selected this particular problem, you are writing hypothesis on that particular problem, you have stated objectives for that particular problem, on basis of what. So what background work is done till date, and you are going to discuss all literature which are present on that particular topic by writing literature review. Then third is the procedure, where the material and method is generally described, which method you have used in your project, what material you have used, right? And it will create the data. So accordingly, you have to write it there. Then in results, it indicates that what happened. So once you did the experiment and what exactly has happened, and what are your results, how you are going to interpret your results. You have to write all your results details here in the results. And there is one more, actually fifth should be, many a times it's results and discussion. In many journals, results are separate, discussion is separate. Discussion is, as I told, that whatever result you obtain, you have to compare with which papers are already published on that particular topic, right? And that comparison you have to write, that is actually called as discussion. And once you did all your work, at the end you have to conclude that after doing all this research, what is conclusion or what you will recommend. Many a time this recommendation can be a future plan, summarization or conclusion. You have to summarize. In summary, you have to give the whole research, whatever you did, in a summary form, that is a summary. Conclusion, after doing all the research, what you will conclude, that have you given a new solution, so that you have to conclude it there. Then what in further work, as I said, you can recommend, or it is also called as, many a times it is future work. So what you can do in future to solve this problem in a better way or more better way. Now the first is title. So the title is centered at the top of page, and it is the only important words are capitalized. So always the whole title is not capitalized, only important words are, you can make it capital. It includes a very brief statement of the main variable, that is independent variable and dependent variable in the study. So make the title specific enough to describe the content of the paper, but not so technical that only specialist will understand. So the title should have generalized thing, but at the same time, it should tell your work in a specific way, right? It should not be very specific that whatever title is there, no one will understand, only the person who, or the scientist who is working in that field will understand. It should not be like that. The title should be get understood by all the individuals or even a layman. So the title should be appropriate for the intended audience. So whatever audience is going to read those paper, it should be appropriate for them. The title usually describes the subject matter of the article. So for example, effect of smoking on academic performance. Now sometimes the title that summarizes the result is more effective. So you can include them into your title. That is, for example, students who smoke get lower grades. So it's more attractive. Then it's more result oriented, because your title is showing that what is the result of your research work. Then title with colons are currently in vague, but usually they are not as cute as you think they are when you first think of them. Then the notice, that always you have to notice that the title allows the reader the most succinct summary of the main player. So whenever a title is written, you should immediately understand that this particular research is about what and on which topic and at what depth it is done, right? So it should always tell that the title should actually exhibit the main players in the experiments and the character of their relationship with each other. So always whenever you read the title, you must able to know which is the main role playing word, or the whole research is actually centered at what particular topic. The author's name is centered below the title always, along with the name of university or research institute. The person who did the work and wrote the paper is generally listed at the first author of the paper. The published articles or other people who made the substantial contributions, or they are also worked on that particular area, or they helped, or they did some experiments, or they helped the author to write the paper, then their names will be listed after the main author. And generally the author which is at the last is always the guide. So many times when you have to write and at the end and the name of the author, right? So always if you want to add someone's name into your article, it is mandatory that you have to take the permission from that other scientist. Suppose I want to add some other scientist name because he has helped me a lot, then I have to take permission from that author also, as well as whoever co-authors, means how many people you're going to add. So those who have actually worked on your research topic, you're going to add their name. So you have to even take permission from them. They are also called as co-author. So for example, you can see it here. This is the title, that is Microbial Surfactant, a new frontier for the sustainable agriculture and pharmaceutical industries. So by just seeing at the title, you will able to know that this whole work is around the microbial biosurfactant and their application in agriculture and pharmaceutical industries. Now, after this title, you can see the name of the authors, and they are arranged in such a way, the way they worked. So Ajay Kumar is the one who actually did whole work regarding that review. Now, this is actually a review article. So the main part of collecting the data, writing the review is done by the Ajay Kumar. After that, it is the Sandeep Kumar who must have helped the Ajay Kumar, then Chandrakant, then Verma, then Kumar. So it is written in such a way that the way they have worked, and you can see at the end there is Manu Kumar's name. It means this Manu Kumar is the guide of Ajay Kumar and maybe some of the other authors also. So always the person who is at the end, which is the guide. Now, many a times star is given, or here the plus sign is given. It indicates that here they have given that the first two authors share the equal contribution. It means Ajay Kumar and Sandeep Kumar both have done the maximum work for writing this review. Now, after this, the numbering is given 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 because all these authors are from different institutes. So accordingly, the number is given. 1 means Agriculture Research Organization, Israel. Second is Center of Advanced Study in Botany, Banaras, Hindu University. Third is Department of Botany, Dharma Samaj College, Aligarh. So, and the fourth one is Department of Botany. So there are 10 actually, 10 different institutes are involved, but few of them might be repeated, like Prem Kumar Singh and Sandeep Kumar Singh, and Dharma Kumar is 2. So all 3 authors are from the same institute, that is Center of Advanced Study in Botany, Banaras Hindu University. So there is always corresponding author. So whenever the corresponding author is there, there is a star always, or this letter sign is there, pocket sign is there. Here, near about all authors are corresponding. They have written it like this, but it is generally not the case. Only one author acts as a corresponding author, and it is always indicated by the star or with the pocket like this. It's the star always, not the pocket. This pocket indicates, if you click on that, it will give you the details of all their email IDs and the institutional details. And this star indicates, here is the star, indicates that this is the corresponding author. Corresponding author means the paper is communicated by only one, always by only one scientist or one author, and this is this author which is actually guide also. So the star is always, many a times it is either at the end with the guide or with the first author. So this is all about the title. The next part we will see in the next lecture. Thank you.